Welcome, my name is Sarah, and we are here for a gentle flow for yoga for sciatica. So we're here to stretch the quads, we're here to stretch the hamstrings, we're here to kind of clear up some of this gunk that really affects our sciatic nerve. So let's get started. For today, you really don't even need a yoga mat. If you have one, great, roll it out, gives you that place to land. But really, we're just looking to find a nice open space of your home. And then ideally we could have a blanket close by. It doesn't have to be a traditional Mexican yogi blanket. It could be any soft blanket that can get foldable. So nothing super cushy, but can you get something that can help support you? It also could just be a big towel too. So grab that. And then we also want to have a strap. So again, this doesn't have to be a yogi strap. This could be a dog leash. This could be a scarf. This could be another rolled up towel, something a little more skinny. So grab the two things that you need and maybe the potential of a yoga mat, and let's get started. We're going to start by lying down on our backs. So try to be at a place where you can still see the camera even on your back, but if not, just listen to my voice and I will do my best. So we're lying down on the floor. Landing in any comfortable position that feels good to start. Does it need to be legs extended long? No. It could be feet planted on the floor. Your arms could be down by your sides. Your feet could be wide with your knees touching. Find a place that feels like you can land. You've made the commitment to spend the next 30 minutes or so moving, connecting to the breath, seeing if we can help find some relief for the body. Yoga is all about the breath. Postures that come along are great too, but we're going to really spend a lot of our time connecting our breath to our movement and finding some awareness to breath. So if you haven't already, start to deepen your breath. Your eyes can be closed or your gaze can be soft. Starting to move inwards. Letting the outside world, responsibilities, to-dos, let all that go. You have nowhere else you need to be. You have nothing else you need to be doing, except to try to be as present as you can. With the breath still deep in and out through the nose, let's start to bring awareness down into the body. Can you become aware of the tips of your fingers? Maybe even the tips of the toes. And then let the awareness start to travel up your hands, up your forearms, your upper arms, all the way to your shoulders. Bring the awareness back to the toes and follow the line up to the ankles, the lower legs, the knees, the thighs, to the hips. Feel both your arms and legs together. And notice the condition of both. If you feel fatigue or pain, discomfort, without judgment, just notice. Is one side stiffer than the other? Trying to stay as still as you can as you just become aware and notice. Bring your awareness back into your hips, your glutes, your low back, your mid back, your upper back, to your shoulders. Awareness to the throat, the collarbones, the rib cage, down to the navel. Feel your whole torso. Feel your whole torso, front and back. Again, what can you notice? What can you observe? Now bring your awareness back to your throat, to your chin, your jaw, the lobes of the ears, points of the ears, to the inner ears, to your cheekbones, to your lips, your tongue. Feel your mouth. Bring your awareness to the tip of the nose, to the eyebrows, to the center of your forehead, to the top of the head. Feel the whole head. Feel the whole head. Now feel your whole body. Your whole body. Your whole body. Like to set an intention or dedication for your practice, here's a good time to do so. Maybe connecting to the reason that you found your mat, beyond maybe the physical. Sure, we're hoping to feel good in the body, but what else are you hoping to get out of this practice? When you feel called, start to wiggle your fingers and toes, bring a little bit of life back into the body. Let your movements start grand, but then or start small, and then maybe they get a little bit more grand. Wiggling the wrists, wiggling the ankles. And then start to draw your knees in towards your chest. You can use your strap to lasso the legs if that's better for grip, or maybe you bring one hand to each knee and just start to rock side to side. And just checking in now more specifically with the low back, the low belly. And then start to bring the knees forward and back. So a little windshield wiper. If you have the strap, then they'll both just go and they'll both come back. They'll both go and then they'll both come back. And start to lower the feet down to the floor. Soften the arms down by your sides. And extend your right leg long. Draw your left knee in towards your chest, either lassoing around your shin or grabbing a hold of the top of the knee. Give yourself a little compression. Draw this knee as close to your pelvis as you can, or as close to your torso as you can, I should say. And then start to activate your feet, letting the toes flex up towards the sky. Just get a little life. And see if you can press your right calf down into the floor. That's going to start to fire up the hip flexor here. Big area of our focus today. All right, release the interlace of your fingers if you have it, or release the strap. We're going to now bring it to our hamstring and start to straighten that left leg. Now, this is a pretty big stretch. So as you get here, you'll notice if you want this leg to stay as it is. I'm going to instead bend this right leg sole if it comes high, and then the left foot comes high to the sky. It gives a little bit more space. So you decide, do you want it extended or do you want it bent? And then have a generous bend to this left leg as well to start. I'm getting a football. Perfect. Perfect. For those of you who are potentially watching this on YouTube, for now, these are meant for videos for my family. And I may just throw them on YouTube and just to start building a presence there, but they're not going to be edited. They're not going to be great, at least to start. So if you're here watching this, that sort of shit's going to happen. Okay, right foot's either extended or bent. Left leg comes high. And then start to circle at the ankle, point the toe. Start to draw this left knee down. so that you're more pulling this femur bone into the hip socket as well as the knee down into the chest instead of this big lengthen up towards the sky. So you can see the difference. This is where we're going. This is where sometimes we are in classes. Okay, they're coming nice and low. Your hand is now going to be on the outside of the knee, kind of finding the little tendons here that you can grip onto. I don't know if that's actually a tendon. That might not be the right verbiage, but again, here we go. Drop this heel down to your glute. That started to activate my outer glute. That started to activate the quad. We're trying to find a little work here. So take an inhale, start to straighten the leg, any amount. Exhale, actively draw that heel down towards the glute. Ooh, inhale, lift. Exhale. Inhale, lift. Strong exhale, pull it down. Really nice. Go ahead and let this left foot come down temporarily. And then start to lasso your foot with the strap. So we're going to put our strap in just below the toes, not in the arch of the foot. Bring the strap into both hands. Okay, now let's see if we can draw that knee back into chest, same idea, and then nice and active. We're still pressing down through that right foot. Hips are on the ground. Take an inhale. And then press now with the strap. Loosen the grip of the strap as you push. Really nice. Grab higher onto the strap. Inhale, draw it down. Stay for the exhale. Inhale, loosen the grip slightly as you push, push, push against that resistance. We're strengthening the hip flex. We're strengthening the glute. Exhale, bring it down. One more time like this. Take an inhale. Exhale. Inhale, push. Engage the core. Engage the hip flexor. Engage the glute. And then loosen the grip of the strap as you lower your left leg down. All the way to the floor. Release the strap. Set it off to the left. Inhale, draws your right leg in. Give it a little compression, a little bit of pull. And then we're going to switch the grips, bringing the grip underneath the knee, and then start to straighten out the right leg. Almost immediately, you know if you want to keep that left leg extended or if you'd rather bend it. Spending a couple breaths, just noticing back body, pointing the toes, circling out the ankles. And then draw those toes back, and we're going to find that same work. So find on the edges of the knee, take an inhale, exhale, pull it down into the armpit as much as you can, into the torso. Exhale, kick the foot high. Whew. Inhale, draw it in. Active glutes, active heel. Exhale, kick it out. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Go ahead and set that right foot down temporarily. Lasso your foot. And then start to kick the foot back up towards the sky. All right, same idea here. One hand each strap. So now the arms are going to get a little more involved and we're going to get some resistance. So even more strengthening here. So let your exhale draw that knee in. Find a nice strong grip. Press into the sole of the foot. Inhale. Exhale, kick that foot high, high, high. One side's likely going to feel a little weaker. That's totally normal. Your exhale draws back down. Full breath. Inhale, kick high. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. All right, soften, let it go. Holy moly, I needed that work as well. Both knees into chest, find some circles with the hips. And then we're going to roll over towards the left side. Okay, so roll over onto your left side in a fetal shape. So if you need something to support the head, maybe bring in that blanket. Actually, let's all do that. Bring in that blanket if you have it. And then your left hand's going to be palm face down. And then shoulders going to tuck underneath. So shoulders are stacked. You're on your left ear. And then I'm going to shift forward just because I need the space, but you could stay as you are. Okay. So go ahead and extend the left leg long. You might feel like you're going to roll forward. Use that top hand to support so that you don't. And then start to bring your right leg, so your top leg, in line with your left knee. And start to kick your foot back behind you in a 90-degree angle. So for me, I have this handy wall to kind of push into. You likely don't have that, so you can let the foot come down. So our knees are in line, and we're going to get a quad stretch here. So what we're going to work towards is, right now we have our ankle and our knee in a 90-degree angle. We're going to start to point the toes and then draw your right heel into your glute. It's going to activate your hamstring and your quad quite a bit. Can you take your awareness to your left foot and flex the toes as if you're standing on the floor? Let your right arm come down. And then maybe you can grab for the top of the foot, or maybe you're just reaching. Even if they don't touch, you're getting the same work of opening up this whole outer quad area. A lot of the place that we're going to feel that tingling, that pain from sciatic nerve pain. So this could feel super intense. So be very, very cautious. If the left leg extended is too much, you can always bend that knee too. That might give you a little bit more relief. If you have the top of the foot, can you hook it? Wow, we're doing great today. Hook the foot by the hand and maybe start to kick away. All this quad is opening up. Take another inhale. If you have the grip of your foot, I do not, but if you do, let it go. Start to straighten your left leg once again and start to draw that right knee in towards your chest and grab onto the front part of your shin. Could be onto your knee, whatever makes most sense, to just draw it in and then give it a squeeze just as we were doing on our back, and then start to find some circles. If this doesn't feel good while lying on your side, you could always roll back onto your back. Okay, and then let's start to roll back onto back body, both knees into chest. Maybe you start to find that front roll, forward and back roll with the hips. And then let's do the other side. So start to roll over onto your right side. Right shoulder is underneath left, right palms facing the sky, right ears connected to the floor or the blanket. Start to extend your bottom leg long, so your right leg long. Start to let the left knee come in line and then start to bend the left foot. 90-degree angle to start, letting the hips stack so you can make adjustments that you need, finding some activation. And then start to point the toes and reach the toes towards the glutes. Whew. Each side's going to feel different. You can start to reach back for that foot. You don't have to touch. You don't have to make contact. Either way, we're opening up the shoulder. We're opening up the front part of the thigh. Where our lower right foot is as if we're standing or it's slightly bent. And send your breath down into the hip flexor. One more breath here. Your exhale, if you have the grip of the foot, it's softly going to release. Leave the right leg as it is and start to draw that left knee in, grabbing for the knee or the shin. Give it some compression in the front part of the body again. Oh, and then let that go. Start to roll back over onto your back. Do anything that calls to you naturally. Okay, so before we move off of our back, go ahead and bring the soles of the feet down to the floor. Next, inhale, draw that right leg in and to a 90-degree angle and bring your right hand down to your thigh. Here's a little more strengthening here. You're going to have the heel of the hand in this hip flexor. Take an inhale. Exhale, press your hand into your leg into your hand. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, release. Exhale, press. Softly let it go down to the floor. Engage the core as you do. Let your left hand come into the crease of your leg. Right hand can come as it does. Bring your left leg to your 90 degrees. Take an inhale. Exhale, press hand into leg, leg into hand. Inhale, lift. Or inhale, soften, I should say. Exhale, press. Inhale, soften. Exhale, press. Softly release the activation, lower your foot back down. Walk your feet as close to your glutes as you can. Tuck your shoulder and both shoulders underneath of you just slightly. Press down through your hands, down through your arms, and start to lift the hips. Exhale, lower the hips down. 2 more like that. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Roll over to your favorite side. Doesn't matter which, you choose. And start to push yourself up towards the seat. And then start to extend your legs out long, shake them out. My quads are really tight as well. My hamstrings are really tight. All of that goodness. Maybe start to rub the legs. All right, and let's come on to tabletop. Hands and knees. Now, I told you that this was only going to be like 30 minutes, but this is my first video. And I don't have a clock in front of me. So, we're just going to keep going until I say otherwise. So buckle up, stop when you need to. If you're watching this on YouTube, you know how long this is. I don't think this is going on YouTube though. We'll see. All right, tabletop. I'm going to recommend that blanket underneath the knees now. Give a little support, a little bit of love. And then bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Send your hips side to side. Start to drop the head and neck side to side. Just get the wiggles out. Oh, and I didn't silence my phone. I don't know if you can hear that. Okay, well, this is going to be interesting. Okay, it's silenced now. All right, so finding any comfortable movement in your tabletop. And then I want you to start to walk the hands forward. So we're coming to a plank pose. So shifting the hips down so that we're in one long line from the tail to the crown of the head. Press strong through all parts of the hand, not just the wrists. It's going to take some strengthening here. Start to shift the hips back and start to come in towards a child's pose. Inhale shifts you forward, coming into a plank. Exhale back towards a child's pose. Any range, doesn't have to be as far back as I'm moving. Maybe it starts to get a little quicker. What we're doing here is first connecting breath to movement. That's number 1. Next is finding our core strength. Next is moving our pelvis and our hip flexors. Often the places that are very tight, that are really not helping us with our sciatic nerve. So we're just moving everything around. Okay, come on back to your tabletop. So walk those hands back underneath your shoulders. And extend your right leg out long. Letting the toes be on the floor. I'm going to keep that plan. Find a shift forward and back. Finding length of the back of the leg. Walk your hands just a little bit over to the left. And then you're going to start to drag that right knee in towards your right armpit. And then you're going to step your right foot forward, however many steps it takes to get there. It's okay. Come up onto fingertips. If you have blocks, here's a great place to have them. Press strong down through your foot. Your ankle's just above your, or just below your knee. You're going to connect to your core, and then you're going to start to inhale, rise. Hands come high. Hands immediately come to heart center. Okay. Here's another one. Here's another one where this whole left side may have just started to fire. If this is painful, let's back off, okay? If this feels good, we're going to stay. So let's take some awareness to the pelvis. Let me show you my pelvis here. This shouldn't go on the internet. So right here, this is kind of a forward tilt, not a lot of engagement through the core. Draw that core in and notice how that shifts my hips back a little bit. And then we want to find a tiny tuck of the tail. So even just like a little bit more rotation of the pelvis, so that whole hip flexor starts to activate. Whew. There we go. So, and now while you're doing that, you're pressing strong down through that right leg. Hands are at heart center so that when you press your hands together, you're feeling a little bit more centered. Hand can always be on a wall. Breathe here. Okay, so we're going to find a little bit more activation with this. So on your inhale, squeeze your glutes, find even more of that tilted pelvis towards a neutral, not like over tilting. Let that go. Inhale, squeeze the glutes, press strong, squeeze everything to center. Let it go. Inhale, squeeze inner thighs as if they could touch. Tilt the pelvis, engage the core. This whole center region is likely on fire. Let it go. Inhale, arms come high. Exhale, lower your hands down to the outside of your right foot and step your right foot back. Maybe bringing a couple circles in towards that right leg. And then go ahead and set that knee back down. Walk your hands a little bit over towards the right, not too much. You still want them underneath the shoulders as much as you can. Extend your left leg long. Find your shifts forward and back. Extend the back leg. And then soften, engage through the core. And then step that knee towards your armpit. And then right foot plants, however many steps it takes to get there. Press strong down through that left foot. Get light on your fingers. Engage through your core. You can always walk up your thigh. We should have talked about that last time. So hands on thigh, and then you can rise, maybe momentary arms reach, or hands directly to heart center. All right, let's remember what we said. We're pressing strong down through our points of contact to the floor. We're engaging through the core. We have a tiny tuck of the tail, so that whole right side starts to activate. Can you imagine that your legs are like scissors where they could scissor together, even though they're separate? All right, let's find our engagement even more. Go ahead and relax. Inhale, squeeze glutes, squeeze inner thighs, tilt that pelvis towards your neutral, towards your strength. Exhale, let it all go. Inhale, everything engages. Exhale. Inhale, engage. Exhale, soften. Take an inhale. Nice and slow. Exhale, lower your hands down to the inside of that leg. Step your left leg back. Give it a few circles. And then let it come back to a table. Okay, so we want to lower ourselves down so that this blanket catches just above the knee. So for me, I'm going to back up to the back edge of my blanket based off how it's folded. And then I'm going to walk myself back into our original low plank and then start to bend the elbows down by your sides. Try to keep them in. If they want to come out like chicken wings, that's normal, but try to keep them in and roll back as you lower. And then come down onto your belly. So we want to have the blanket not as it is. So that was not very good instruction. So I'm actually going to recommend, so if you went down with me, come back. So I'm actually going to recommend that this blanket comes out and we're going to add it if we want it. Okay, so go ahead and let's restart this. Bring this blanket to a fold, so a little bit thicker than it just was, maybe, or how it started. We want it to more or less look like this thickness. Put it off to the left side of your mat, enough to where you could reach down when you're down on your belly and tuck it under your leg. That's where we're going. So have it with our arms reach and alongside your left thigh. Lower yourself down. Okay, lower your hands down by your sides. So here's where we're going. Take that left foot, draw it high. One more thing back in for that front parts of the quads. Start to draw this heel towards your glute, pointing the toes. And then could you imagine pressing down through your hips and maybe that, you can't really see because I have these different leg moves on. So we'll want to see if we can find a little lift of the kneecap. This is a lot of strengthening for the back body. So we don't have to do this for too long. When you're ready, start to lift the kneecap up. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, lift, press down through the pelvis. Exhale, let it go. One more, inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. We're going to ditch the blanket today. We're not even going to add that part in. Extend the leg long. Let's do the other side. If you have one ear touching the mat, let it be the other. And then we're going to do the other side. So pointing the toe, flexing the heel, inhale, lift, exhale, lower. Inhale, lift, kneecap, exhale, lower. Inhale, lift, kneecap, exhale, lower. Woo, straighten the legs. Bring your hands to stack underneath your forehead. Elbows go wide. Bend the knees. Soles of the feet come high, and then just start to find very small windshield wipers. So the feet really stay in the line of what your mat is. And then maybe they start to get larger. Legs start to head side to side. And then go ahead and extend the legs back to center, straighten them out, and then just start to shake your booty. Shake your tail feather. Just a little side to side rocking, kind of let all that work go. And then from here, we're just going to roll onto our backs. Nothing super fancy, just rolling back onto back body where we began. Check in. Notice the quality of your breath. Notice how you feel. We're going to come up into a happy baby from here. So let's do a half happy baby first, and then we'll do a full one together. So left leg's going to stay planted. So bend the knee if it's not already bent, sole of the foot's on the floor right alongside that hip. And start to draw this right knee in. You can lasso the strap again if you'd like, or this time you grab for the outside of the knee. Start to drag this knee towards your armpit. So we're going to widen it out to the side. Now you can use your elbow as a kickstand on the outside of this knee. Start to flex the toes. We're on a wider plane than we have been working with that strengthening work on our back. Okay, so you can stay here. Maybe you start to walk your hand up your leg. Maybe you lasso your strap around your foot, or maybe you can grab for your foot. There's lots of places to play. We're just looking to drag this knee down towards the armpit and send the breath down low in all the places we've been working. One more breath. Your exhale is going to lower your hand back to your knee, back to your kickstand with the elbow. Drop that heel towards your glute. Draw the knee in towards your chest. And then let it go back to neutral to meet the left. Let's do the other side, half happy baby. Bring your hands to the outside of your knee. Bring your elbow down as a kickstand. Start to kick your foot high. Flex the toes. Stay here or start to grab up your leg, your ankle, maybe even your foot. Draw the knee as close to the armpit as you can, and imagine your top foot is touching the top of the ceiling. One more breath here. Your exhale is going to release your foot or your shin. Bring your hand back to your knee and then start to lower your heel towards your glute. Bring it back in towards center. Draw both knees in. And then find anything natural that calls. It could be circles with the knees, either together or separate. Move in one direction. And then it's opposite. And then let's come into a happy baby. Draw the knees in towards your chest. Both of them come out wide. Start to kick the feet up towards the sky. Use your hands underneath your knees, underneath the tops of your thighs, and your elbows for support. Now, if you have more space, grab up onto your shins, your ankles, maybe your feet. And the goal is to drag that whole pelvic region, the whole lower body down, down, down. Breathe into your pelvis. Remember, we're not looking for pain. And then when you feel satisfied, go ahead and let go of that grip of your legs and start to find a place of rest. That could be extending your legs out long to lie down. Could be sending your legs up a wall if you have a wall close by. Let me show you that one. If you choose to go legs up the wall, here's my best suggestion. It's going to be to come to sit up and then come to sit so that you're parallel with the wall. Start to lower yourself down onto your elbows. Send your hips a little forward maybe, and then start to swim yourself up the wall. You want your pelvis and your legs as close to the wall as you can, as close as feels comfortable, so you're not reaching for it. Decide any comfortable shape to finish. It even could be a seat. And we'll spend a couple moments here in our Shavasana together before we close our practice. So make those adjustments that you need. Take an inhale. Exhale. Shavasana. Start to deepen your breath. Deepen your awareness back into your physical body. Begin to notice sounds, smells, temperature. Notice how you feel. How do you feel after you've spent the last hour or so, who knows, half hour. Moving your body, moving your breath, and caring to your needs. Proud of yourself for turning on this video, for doing the work. When you feel ready, start to wiggle the fingers and toes. Start to let your movements become small and then more grand. And then eventually we'll meet in a seat. So roll over to your favorite side, press yourself back up to a seat. Come to sit on something or not. Any comfortable seat that can give you a nice tall spine. Let your hands collect in at heart center. Either stack them on your heart or bring them to Anjali Mudra, prayer shape, gesture of offering. Whichever feels more natural to you in this moment. I thank you for your time, your energy, and sharing your practice with me. I wish you well. Namaste.